Hi everyone, you're watching Travel Massive Live. My name is Maria, and today we're going to have a startup pitch webinar. Before I introduce the startups that we're going to hear about today, let me remind everyone that you can use the chat box to introduce yourself. You can share a link to your profile. We already have one person sharing that he's joining us from Austin. Hello, Nate.
Hello.
Also, you can use the chat box to ask your questions, and also there is a Q&A option on Zoom that you can use. We will get back to the questions after the two presentations. Okay, so today we do have Peter joining us from the USA. I think it's quite early there, around 10, 11 a.m.
11.
1, okay.
No, 11.
Of 11, okay. Yep. So Peter is going to tell us more about HomeServiceAI, now IADA. It's a concierge and guest support platform. It takes care of the majority of guest questions and administrative duties. And then we're going to hear from Mohammed, who is going to tell us more about Instafly.me, which allows travelers to book trips directly from images they upload or find on the web or social media apps. It all sounds very interesting. We cannot wait to hear you guys. You have 6 minutes each, and after that, we'll proceed to the Q&A with the live audience. So Peter, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen and tell us more about your project.
Yeah, so about a year and a half ago, we started HomeServiceAI. We've rebranded into IADA AI over the past couple of months. And basically, we're an AI assistant for hospitality, a conversational AI assistant for hospitality. So we started when we realized, so I've been an Airbnb host for quite some time, and I've helped manage over 10 to 12 properties at a time. And there's a ton of conversations, engagements, and communications that are really, really repetitive, time-consuming, and sort of like present a bottleneck to growth and present a major bottleneck to be able to manage your rentals and your business the way that you want to do it. So hosts and hotel managers, people in hospitality, they want to make money and they want to grow without working all the time and without spending all of their time on like customer support and customer engagement. So there's two big problems that a lot of property managers are dealing with. And the number one is that engagement takes time. So every message, every email, every communication takes time to do. Most of them are very repetitive because it's related to things that are, you know, important to your rental, like check in, check out, where things are, how to get there, stuff like that. But it doesn't grow your business. So it's only really helping people who are already paying. And you need to be on call, you know, at all hours of the day to take care of these types of conversations. And also a lot of people who manage properties, who manage even smaller hotels or whatnot, it's pretty hard to know what's going on a very granular level. So you don't really have, you know, the bright business insights and analytics that you sort of need to grow the way that you want. A lot of reviews that are left are not actionable enough to use them to grow your business. And you sort of have some jealousy when you see other businesses like e-commerce that can track every aspect of the customer journey to know exactly how people are interacting with your product and what you can be doing to make that interaction better. So the solution is obviously you want to automate engagement through AI-powered messaging. So it works in a very simple way. You basically set up properties, rooms, or rentals. You hook them up to your Airbnb account, property management system, OTA, whatever. Guests chat and communicate in text and email and call with and talk to the AI instead of you personally, because all of that information that's relevant to your Airbnb is already there, you know, so you can let the AI talk to them. And you as a host, as a property manager, you use these analytics that we provide, the time that we save and the ability to engage effectively after people leave, to build your business, you know, drive loyalty and identify problems. So what we have there's two facets to our platform. So we have a management dashboard where people set up properties, connect to their OTAs, connect to their Airbnb accounts, connect to their PMS systems. And it's basically a fire and forget system. So you set up all of the information that's relevant to your rental and let the AI take care of the rest. And then for the guest experience, in essence, they're texting with this AI through SMS or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or Alexa or email, or even platforms like Airbnb and Booking directly natively. so that all of their questions, all of their engagements, and most of the things that they'd want to get information about or do are handled automatically. So we launched about a year ago, and we've seen a lot of growth, and we've seen a lot of data about how our product is helping people. And we see on average like 2 to 3 hours a week saved by people who are using Yada on a room by room basis. So most of our clients or most of our users have around 10 rooms. So they're saving around 20 to 30 hours a week just by automating engagement. And the ability to automate, feedback solicitation in a very smart and targeted way means that we're also driving around 50% more 5-star reviews and just reviews in general by getting the right people to engage after they leave. So we're aware of the context of conversations. Like we can tell how happy or not people are, based on the conversations that they're having. If they're happy, we have something like a 95% success rate in getting them to review and getting them to leave feedback publicly and engage on social. And if they're not happy, we have an incredibly good success rate, also close to 90%, of getting them to leave that information privately, communicate directly, what their issues were, and not impact, any sort of rating or review or sort of your perception outside of, the private information that you need to make your business better. And our traction has been really, really exciting. So we soft launched about a year ago in Boston in 50 units. So, we have way more units than this. Like we've been generating revenue since March of last year. So we're at around 400 units today and a couple of hotels in the Boston area that we're piloting this platform in. And we're growing at a really rapid pace. A lot of people want this type of product. Engagement and customer support is a huge bottleneck in hospitality just because you can't turn it on and off depending on demand. You sort of need to be able to do it all the time. And the data that we're generating, the information that we're able to provide to hosts and property managers is really, really great. And we're working on a lot of incredible stuff. So we're trying to get wrapped up with integrations with all sorts of PMS systems. So, being able to cover, 90 to 95% of the market of hosts and property managers that use PMS systems, integrate natively with them. So be able to message and do engagements natively there. Working on even more AI capabilities so that if the AI isn't able to answer something and you have to take care of that thing personally, it's going to learn from that. So you never have to take care of that engagement again. It's going to learn from previous conversations that you've had to be able to proactively answer things and not prompt you for information. And then obviously, moving beyond just a support and sort of like automation tool for hospitality and getting into experiences and being able to let an AI guide a guest through experiences, which are becoming huge in hospitality in the same way that a travel guide would or a tour guide would, and really let them explore the way that they want to explore without being too intrusive upon them. And, making sure that they have the right, information and guidance that they need to really, really enjoy their stay. And why this is important now is because guest expectations are evolving really, really rapidly. The industry has never been more competitive. And the best way to boost business is to obviously, cut your margins as much as, or boost your margins as much as you can and give guests what they want. And, travel has changed, and adapting to this change is very, very important. And making sure that, guests have the experience that they've come to expect is critical. And the tech is obviously finally good enough where AI and conversational AI in particular can handle all of this stuff in a way that we weren't able to handle it, even 2 years ago. So that is basically that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. You already have a few questions in the chat box. You can take a look and think about them.
Can
and
I start answering questions now?
We will do that after. Yeah, after the presentations. Awesome. Okay, Mohammed, it's your turn. Whenever you're ready, you can wait. Let me unmute you first. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
All right, you guys can see my screen? All right, well, from Calgary, we are Instafly. and we're trying to help you book flights from any image or video that you find on the web or on social media. My name is Muhammad Ibrahim, and I'm the co-founder of Instafly. Images are inspiring, photos are inspiring, especially when it comes to travel. This is actually an image from an Instagram account called Instagain, I believe, where people, they see an experience and they try to replicate it in some way. And then this account collects these images. So many people spend hours and hours on online, on social media platforms, looking for inspiration and helping them book flights and hotel rooms from whichever image inspires them. And the way it works is you actually upload an image to Instafly, and you're able to get information about the destination, and you're able to get hotel information as well. So the data shows that 30% of global travelers, especially couples, use social media for travel information and inspiration. And 43% of solo travelers say they want to receive customized inspirations based on their preferences. We know that EasyJet does that, but we're different because we are an API that seamlessly integrates with airlines' booking systems. And then we also have the social media side of it. We have browser extensions based on this API. And we have a social media bot that posts links for our partners, booking links under popular travel photography posts. We have very good accuracy in predicting what place appears in the image that you upload. And it's easier to use because we don't ask the user to change their behavior. They're already on a social media platform. They already have an image that they want to upload. Our browser extension actually has like a book now button. You browse any website, and on the images that appears on the website, a little button will appear on the corner. You click on that, and then it shows you links for to book tickets and to book hotel rooms. We integrate with platforms like Instagram and Twitter, and we're working on booking by video. We actually have a prototype for that. Our revenue streams are two facets. The B2B, so I mentioned the API. The API would recognize an image and then call the booking API of any airlines or booking website and return their booking links. And we also seen interest in our social media bot. The bot goes out, finds specific hashtags for travel photography, recognizes the image, and posts a booking link to actually travel to the destination in that image. Our business to consumer side is based on commissions for booking made on web, mobile, or social media. We were lucky to go to travel conferences and present Instafly Me, and we have actually created a proof of concept for LATAM Airlines, the largest Latin American airlines, and we're working with them to implement the social media bot. We also in talks with the Hamad International Airport because they have an innovation hub. For the traction, we're seeing rapid rise in the number of visits and social media interactions in the B2C side. We are seeing a lot of user interest. We've tracked almost 12 clicks per booking link that we have posted on social media. EasyJet came back after their experiment with image booking, and they see 4 times the conversion rate as opposed to the regular search box. We're currently looking for investment of 300K and looking for contacts in the travel industry and access to tools and infrastructure. And in this regard, we were lucky to receive startup program credits from Google, from AWS. We also went through an accelerator that's based in San Francisco, and we're approaching investors. And that's it. Please get in touch, and hopefully you'll see Instafly in your favorite booking websites soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, if you have any questions for Mohammed and Instafly, please drop them in the chat box and we'll get to them. Peter, if you want to go ahead, you can just answer the questions that you have in the chat box. Please read, if you want, just read them first so we get them in the recording as well.
Definitely. So Lisa from Berlin, I think, asks, hey, Peter, cool product. I wonder how long it takes to set up the initial information for your properties. Also, how do you market your product? So setup is really, really easy. So there's 2 ways that we're currently setting up. Obviously, when we first started, we weren't able to natively integrate with booking platforms like Airbnb or Booking or Vrbo or whatever. So we'd ask people to fill in information for around 40 to 50 relatively standard questions to, kickstart the information that's provided or that's able and accessible to guests. So that takes around 5 to 10 minutes. Now that we're natively integrated with these platforms, so you have 2 options. Like obviously it pulls all the information from your Airbnb profile, and that takes around 2 seconds. And then you augment that with information to these sorts of, questions and data points that, we need to get more information about. So on average, it takes around 5 to 10 minutes to set up a property. And that's basically fire and forget. So once you set it up, you never really need to go back and change things unless something really, really important changes that you want to go back and update. So setup is incredibly simple. And that's, one of the biggest things that we were aiming to accomplish is, make AI and make this sort of conversational AI approachable and not remove any technical barrier to implementing this type of conversational AI. Because this stuff is technically very, very difficult, very, very cutting edge. And we just wanted to make it accessible to this industry. So setup for hosts is around 5 to 10 minutes. Getting connected to guests is either automatic because we sync with your, booking calendars and whatnot. So we can tell if a certain, phone number texts with us during certain dates, then that's, probably this guest that's staying at that property. And then, we're able to connect that with that particular product or property automatically. Or if guests don't provide their phone number in their booking, then it takes them around 2 to 5 seconds to connect. So it's really, really seamless, fast, easy, 0 barriers to entry for both guests and hosts. How do we market the product? So we started obviously in a pretty grassroots way, reaching out, within the hosting community, within the hospitality community. So our first, 500 or 600 beta properties were from that relatively grassroots movement to get the word out and spread awareness around the product. Right now we're advertising on Facebook for the most part. Most of our advertising budget goes to Facebook. We do a lot with content, so we have a ton of really cool data that we're able to generate, and this data allows us to create incredible content around what works in Airbnbs, what doesn't work, what the best practices for this type of situation are versus another type of situation are. So content, Facebook, and then obviously we have presence at trade shows and stuff like that related to this industry. So I would say that, most of our growth right now is organic through the content that we're putting out and through the Facebook campaigns that we're running, just to spread awareness and, make sure that people take a look at this product and, know that it's out there.
Awesome, thank you. Mohammed, there is also a question for you. What is or will be your monetization model?
I want to share my screen again. Is that possible?
Yeah, of course.
Because I just want to show something here. I hope it's visible now. Okay. This is our Twitter account. And then you can see that this is the business to consumer part. So we have a social media bot. So in this instance is Twitter. And this person has posted an image. So the bot would look at that image and return information about the destination and a direct link to book a flight or book a hotel to this destination. So this is the consumer side of things, that when you click on the link and you book, we get a commission. But obviously, we partner with airlines as well. So we have a subscription-based API. So the airlines would pay for the right to use the API. So yeah, business to business and business to consumer.
Okay, so this product is, I think, very relevant also for content creators. Have you thought about working with some, or you're more focused on the airlines right now?
We actually depend on the content creators, but the bot at the same time does not only depend on the content creators. You can just tweet an image to this account and it will return. But then obviously content creator, we have noticed they have the more professional images and all, and hopefully we work with them.
Awesome. Any other questions? Post them in the chat box. I just used Instafly with an image from one of my images from Casablanca, so it got it right.
Thank you for the testimonial. Appreciate it.
Awesome. I will post, so we do have a few people watching us live. I will put an online poll where you can vote for the startup that you would wish to win. So if we get enough votes, we will say who is the winner today. If not, we'll get a judge that will review these speeches and tell us tomorrow. So let's...
Yes, and everybody should vote. We're all sitting at home anyway.
Yes. Wait, we do have one more question from Mike. Let me just read it really quick. Does the host hotel guest house get access to the data? So this is for Peter.
Yes, so we provide analytics for the host. So they obviously have readouts of all the conversations that happen, right? So they can go into the chat on our site or, directly natively with the platforms that are being, communicated with and have access to those chats. We also provide sentiment-based analytics to hosts. Just, being able to say stuff like, all right, in the past 2 weeks, we've had a noticeable increase in dissatisfied people around this sort of issue or whatnot. So, we provide two types of informations back to the host. Obviously the readouts of conversations, these are conversations they'd be having with people anyway, or with the host anyway. So there's nothing really, that we need to hide from the host about the conversations that our AI is having with guests. And then we also provide those sentiment-based analytics to really let them understand, what sort of things are driving happiness or lack of happiness for certain types of issues or problems that people might have arise. So guests, yes. All right. So let me just read this question. I just saw it in the Q&A and not in the chat. So would hotels be able to use the data from the analytics to be able to improve on their marketing strategy, client offerings, and gain behavioral data gathered on clients? So that is incredible. That is an incredible question. So we actually have kind of a very interesting case study that basically about a month and a half ago, we started piloting in a hotel in Boston, and something like 80 to 90% of their visitors and clients were people who were traveling for business. And We made the AI and the chatbot accessible to all of the guests in all of the rooms, and we put Alexas in half of the rooms just to sort of test whether more people would be using the Alexa or the chatbot. And we found that something like at least half to, more than half of the people that drank coffee would complain about the lack of quality of the coffee. And a lot of these are business people who come in for business. So they want to be able to get up in the morning, have good coffee, and go directly to a meeting. They don't want to have to take a 20-minute pit stop to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or something like that between, they probably landed like 6 hours ago. They got like 5 hours of sleep. They just want to they just want to be able to get up, take care of what they need to take care of, and move on to the next thing. So like being able to tell the hotel that like, listen, like one of your biggest problems right now that you can very easily remedy is like the coffee that you provide to people at like between 6:30 and 9:30 in the morning, because it's like one of the things that they complain about like pretty actively. And it's the one thing that's preventing them from having a really good experience that morning. So that definitely, it's very capable in like, driving like, and like it's very capable in like figuring out what, client offerings can be changed and what client experiences can be changed to offer a better experience. For the behavioral data, that sort of like falls into the same tune. So like, as long as these conversations are happening, you're able to get behavioral data, what amenities people are using more than others, and just being able to get insights into what is driving business and what's not driving business. So the marketing strategy is actually a really, really interesting thing that we're rolling out now. So if you look at a lot of hotels and a lot of Airbnbs and a lot of, hospitality or stay related businesses, their post-stay engagement is only really limited to like one email or something that guests get after they leave saying like, if you enjoyed our stay, like please leave us a review on Booking or Airbnb or whatever. So you don't really have that much marketing engagement after people leave. And one of the best ways to build a sustainable business in hospitality is to drive as much loyalty as possible and drive as much sort of customer engagement as possible after people leave. So the fact that our AI is able to engage with people after they leave on like a very contextual and personal level, and like making sure that they're engaging on social, Twitter, Instagram, like, offering deals to their friends. So like if there's sort of like a holiday or something, like being able to, propagate that information to all of your previous guests and being able to say like, like you obviously had a good stay, like we're offering this deal now, and like direct book and skip all of the percentages that, booking platforms take, is really a good way to drive business. And like we can't do too much with marketing before people get there for first time visitors, but after they leave, this ability to engage with them, in a very context aware and in a very sort of like non-intrusive, but also targeted way after they leave, and getting them to build that loyalty has definitely been paying dividends to the people who've been, using that feature for sure. Because loyalty is obviously so important to this industry, and it's so important to driving repeat visitors and getting people to spread the word about your, hotel or Airbnb or whatever. That this sort of post-stay engagement definitely does a lot with that.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, I'm gonna activate the voting, the poll now. So whoever is joining us live, please, you will see on your screen the two options. So vote for the startup that you would like to win. In the meantime, Peter, Mohammed, how are you feeling?
No, it's amazing. Like, oh, go ahead, Peter.
I mean, obviously, everyone in travel is impacted by this substantially. Yeah. So we haven't seen like too much of a decline in business. Like no one's stopped using Yada, but we've seen a little bit of a decline in like the amount of, or the ease that we're having with new sales, especially we had one client who manages like 95 or 96 Airbnbs, and like all of their bookings, literally every single one of their bookings between now and May dried up. So like it might not be the best time for them to explore new services and new tech and whatnot. But it's giving us like a lot of opportunities that we didn't have over the past like month and a half to 2 months to really focus on product stuff. So because like nobody's selling now, and you're not really spending as many cycles and as much, bandwidth selling the product.
Yeah.
you know, we've been able to do, like, accelerate a lot of the really cool tech stuff that we're doing in a really, really aggressive way that we weren't able to do over the past 2 months or so. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, there's been positives and negatives, but, you know, everyone is having this problem. It's not like, you know, I mean, everyone related to travel and hospitality is, you know, facing the same issues, but it's just important to, you know, not give up or not be.
True, true.
Yes.
Mohammed, do you want to say a few words as well before we announce the
Yeah,
results?
if you look at like both startups, like in Peter's case, he has been an Airbnb host. So all of these ideas like post engagement and so forth, I believe it was solving like a problem that he already faced. In my case, I worked remotely for some time. I used to travel and I had, you know, times when I had to sit and plan my next trip and all. So part of Instafly Me is solving a problem that I've had in the past. But I see, you know, the amount of work that has been put into Yada. And if I don't get all the votes, then Peter, you know, WrestleMania 2020, you know, get back to you. Oh wait, WrestleMania is canceled, so maybe next year.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, thank you very much for participating. We do have a winner from the live participants voting. So this is Yada. Congratulations, Peter. Don't worry, Mohammed. We at Travel Massive are going to support all the startups that we have here. But congratulations again, Peter. We did have one final question if you want to answer.
Yes, let me take a look at that. Where are we?
Basically, he's asking, what is that you need at this moment from a community investor partner point of view? Honestly,
just partners and being able to, you know, get this deployed in as many units as possible. So we raised a seed a little while back, and we're in the process of raising another round, hopefully during the spring. But I would say just like being able to get the product in the hands of as many people as possible and get it used as much as possible would be what we're looking at right now.
Awesome. We did send
spreading it out as much as possible, for sure.
We are going to help with that on Travel Massive, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Also, I forgot to mention, like, we like, if anyone wants to help us write content, or like we're willing to help other people write content, and just being able to sort of, you know, spread content and information and knowledge and stuff like that would be super useful. Like we write for other people's blogs. If people want to write for our blog, that's great. But that's basically it.
Mohammed, do you want to share what's basically how the community can help you right now? What do you need from people?
Yeah,
from us?
Big shout out to Travel Massive, of course, and the effort you're doing and how you're, you know, present in all corners of the world. So thank you for this opportunity, and thanks for everybody who's here and heard the pitch. We are looking for more partners, more connections. We're looking for any suggestions on the next features that we can add. We're working on video. So yeah, we'll be very open to receive any feedback from the community and spread the word.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Whoever is joining us, thank you again for your participation, for all the questions and the engagement. You can join our future Travel Massive live webinars. We do them every week. And this week, we also have a special edition live show where we discuss the effect of this, you know, all the things that are happening now, the effect on the tourism industry. So we do have members discussing what is happening with their businesses, what is happening with the regions where they are. So if you feel like listening or even share your story, you can join us this Thursday. Thank you to Peter and Mohammed. Once again, we will keep in touch, and we will, of course, try to support you as much as possible.
Thank you. And I think every travel startup now needs to get as much, you know, support and exposure as possible, especially in these sort of
True
times, I guess.
True. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.